So what I want to encourage you to do, if you like this idea, if this is relevant to you, is create some time where you sit with yourself, what a novel idea, and begin to look clearly at your patterns. Look at the behavior that you do around relationship and around money, around love and around money. And begin to inquire with yourself, what is it that stands behind that pattern? This is saying that you're not happy with your relationship or your expression in relationship and money. If you're happy, don't change a thing, okay? And just meditate through the rest of this talk. But if you're not happy, or if you want a more full expression in either one of those places, and really, who doesn't, look at your patterns, begin to inquire with yourself, what is it that stands behind this pattern? I'm doing some behavior. What is the belief that stands behind that pattern? And this is when you go see practitioners and get help, by the way. And then ask yourself, behind that pattern is the false belief. Where did that start? You can actually ask your inner self, what was my first experience with this false belief, this false idea? And then you'll notice where that began and the whole thing that took place. It can unravel for you. This is part of what's called the fear to faith process. And begin to look at the behavior you do as a cover strategy over that false belief and make a deal with yourself to stop the behavior. So I want to share with you a personal story about this. Years ago, this is many years ago now, I was having the experience of not enough in my finances. I was married at the time. We were both working. There was plenty of money coming into the household. We also had 2 children, so plenty of money was going out because they were on their way to college. But plenty of money coming in, plenty of money going out for all the things of life. And yet, I was generating in my own patterning the experience of not enough. And I would do interesting things like, I would agree to an expenditure like a massage or something that was good for me to give to myself, but I would schedule it before I actually had the cash to pay it. Or I would not wait until I had generated cash and I would use a credit card to go get something. Now, that never got to a pathological level, thank God. But I realized that or somebody would come to me in need out of their own experience of not enough, and I would give them money that I really didn't have the opportunity to give at that time. I'm not talking about church, I'm talking about an individual person. I would give what I really didn't have to give at that time. And so I realized I kept generating this kind of low-level stress called not enough. And I entered into the training, the Financial Freedom Class instructor's training, to learn how to teach the class, for one thing, but also because I had decided to get my issues with money handled. I didn't want it to be the last experience of my life that I got into order. I didn't want to wait any longer. And in the process of that, I realized, in looking at that formative event, I went way back to growing up in the home of a single mom who did everything she could do to take care of me. I did not lack for anything material. We did not have a lavish life on any score. But I had all that I needed, but there was an emotional deprivation. There was an experience of deprivation more at the emotional and the support level. And so what I realized is that set in me a belief in deprivation. And I began to outpicture that deprivation in this particular way that I already described to you. And then I saw so clearly the false belief, and then I saw the behavior that I was doing to perpetuate the belief. The minute you do the behavior, it affirms the belief. Can you see that? And again, we get so busy with the behavior and the problems that the behavior generates that we don't tend to go to the deepest place to say, what the heck is going on with me? What is the false thing that I am believing? So I will tell you, the skies opened on that day, and I began to do everything that it took to handle my patterns with money. And I feel like I've been successful. So I just want you to know that it can happen.